All right, so now let's look at some basic grip fighting when we're on our back. So go.
Another huge aspect of grip fighting that's very commonly overlooked is the idea that there's a grip fighting skill set off of your back. Most people think of grip fighting as we're sitting up trying to establish kind of our initial control. But sometimes you're going to be on your back, like maybe the guy just escaped a triangle choke or you get taken down, whatever. You're on your back and the guy's kind of standing right over you. And the thing is, if he's standing really far away, I can sit up and then start trying to grip fight from here, right? But the thing is, when he's really close to me, it's really difficult because if I just try to sit up here, I'm opening my elbow knee space and he can start attacking. So there's this kind of zone where the guy's so close that it's better to grip fight off of your back, right? And that's what we're going to focus on here, okay? So if I'm here and he's really close, right? Again, if he backs up really far away, sure, I'll come up on my elbow, I'll start scooting back and all that stuff, but now he's really close. So when he's really close, the two ways I'm usually going to establish my initial grip is either going to be an ankle grip or a sleeve grip, okay? So we'll start with the sleeve grip and we'll talk a little bit about what my legs should be doing. So again, this crossovers into guard retention a bit. Mainly, I want to start with my knees really close to my chest, with my arms on the outside. The more my leg is out, if I'm chasing him with my legs, not only am I opening my elbow knee space, but also if he grabs my legs, the grip is far away too. If my knees are tight with my arms on the outside like this, if he grabs, I can already grab his sleeve too and start establishing grips, right? So I wanna have my knees tight, keep your feet moving as well. If I just freeze here and have my feet kind of like parallel, he can just pin my legs and now it's hard to move. If I'm doing this, right, I usually have one high, one low, so I'm alternating kind of like one high, one low, like this. And see, I'm making it hard as he start making a grip. I'm making it hard for him to get grips. Even if he grabs the ankle, I can kind of go outside of the finger thumb, right? And I just keep it moving. So it's really hard to get anything. As he's trying to make grips, I'm gonna have my hands on the outside of my legs, but trying to deflect his grips. So if we're gonna go slow motion, what it would look like is this. So he starts trying to grip, I'm doing this, right? I'm always kind of moving around. And I use my palm just to feel where his hand's at. Once I get a feeling of where it's at, then I'm gonna grab the sleeve and now I can get my initial control. Another big thing here too is I wanna stay in a tight crunch. If I'm flat like this, my hips are lower to the ground, it's harder to be mobile. So the more you can crunch and keep your knees in, the easier this is gonna be to be mobile. Your hands are gonna be closer like this, right? So I'm here, boom, I get a sleeve and I establish the lasso. Now I can go collar and sleeve and I can start going from here, right? So again, we're here and maybe I get the other one this time. Cool, I go leg past body, collar sleeve, foot on the hip, and now we're good. I can start building from here, triangle, could go to a lasso, go to double sleeve, everything starts to open, right? Okay, so the basic idea here, so I wanna be in a crunch, I keep my feet moving like this, and you can move a lot, right? So, you know, if I'm moving really fast, it's like scary for him to even try to make a grip. At the same time, my hands are doing this, right? If he stands too close, and he's being very careful with his hands, but stand close, right? Then, like, have your hands in, but like it's just hard to get the grip. I can grab the ankle, right? So now I got the ankle, I go here, I switch to the pants, and now we're back in the leg control series, right? And then we know what to do from there, and we can build out from there. So again, I'm here like this, I have my legs moving. If I get a sleeve, great. If not, I just grab the ankle. Build from there. See, I got this. I could go to sit-up guard. If I wanted to, I could lasso, let go. Now I'm playing collar sleeve on the other side. See, I'm playing here. Now he grabs here. Now I'm playing lasso spider on the other side, right? I can start working underneath. See, everything starts to interconnect really naturally once you understand the grips, okay? Another big aspect here when he's doing this is making sure you're using your hands to deflect his hands, right? If you try to go directly for the sleeve as he goes, then I'm gonna get the sleeve, but my ankle's already pinned. Versus if I'm going slow motion here, if I deflect where his hand is, I can feel where his hand is, and now I can start making that initial grip. Okay, so if you go directly for the sleeves, you're gonna have a hard time. Don't leave your feet idle, keep them moving, and don't keep them parallel to the floor. Try to keep them more aimed at his chest. When your feet are a little bit higher, it's easier to keep your knees tight. If you think about to extreme, if my feet are on the floor, my knees can't be tight. If my feet are, an inch off the floor, my knees can't be tight. So the higher my feet go, the easier it is to keep my knees tight, right? So I try to angle about 45 degrees, feet moving here, looking for the grips, trying to get my initial control. So we're here, like this, boom, have my initial control. He stands close, I got the ankle, got my initial control. He stands close with the other leg, got my initial control, right? So just keep your feet moving like this, okay?
Okay, so now let's look at what to do if your opponent starts to back up a little bit or circle around. So go up.
Again, when I'm on my back and he's kind of close to me, then I'm looking to kind of defend the pass. So that's the guard retention. I got to block the passes and look for my initial entanglement. So I'm keeping my feet moving, looking for a sleeve or an ankle. But sometimes he's going to back up just a little bit, right? So if he backs up just a little bit, now maybe I can't get my grips, okay? So there's two things I want to think about. If he's backed up a little bit and he starts to circle, I don't want to put my feet on the floor to follow him, because then I'm starting to open up my elbow knee space. So I want to try to follow him by rocking like this, okay? When I rock, I don't really lose my knees being tight, and I kind of use my elbows in this kind of rocking motion. Go back the other way, yeah, to kind of keep him in front of me like this, right? So I'm just keep him rocking like that. Now, if he backs up enough, I'm just gonna sit up, right? Because ultimately, I would rather be sitting up to grip fight because I can engage first. So back up a little bit. So if I'm up here, now I can engage first, right? My hands are in play. That's where I wanna be. I can collar drag, lapel, jump to my feet, get the sleeve. So it's way more aggressive to be sitting up, and it's less dangerous if I know what to do. But when he's hovering over you, you can't just sit up. So that's why you have to know how to grip fight from your back, right? But if he backs up a lot, then it starts to become like kind of hard, and then he can kind of start getting grips, and I don't want to stay on my back here, right? So when I feel he's backed up a lot, what I want to do is I'm going to lean to one side. You can pick your preference. I'm going to lean to one side and come up on my elbow like this. And see how I keep the knee tight? I have my hand ready here like this. And now, usually what will happen if the guy's more advanced is and I always anticipate this, is as soon as I start sitting up, he's gonna try to close the distance really fast to try some kind of pass attack. So when I sit up, I'm gonna go here. I can do it with either foot. A lot of times it'll be this bottom one. I'm gonna hop back, and then might even add in an extra sit back like that, because I wanna get really far away from him so I can kind of gather my wits to start grip fighting again. If I just go here, and I sit up like this, now all of a sudden he's doing something, right? So if I anticipate that that's gonna happen, I'm here, he starts close maybe, and then now he backs up a bit. I go here, boom, right? And now I can start grip fighting from here. So now as he comes in, now I'm looking for a sleeve or a collar, here, boom, and then now I'm starting to establish my initial grip, right? So that idea of like, okay, if he's hovering over me, keep your feet moving, look for the ankle, look for the sleeve, those are your initial tie-ups. If he starts to back up a lot in circle, or if he backs up a little bit in circles, you can kind of rock and follow. If he backs up really far, then you're gonna try to sit up quick. So let's do it on this side. So again, we're here. If he's really close, then maybe I get a sleeve or an ankle. He's kind of mid-zone, and he starts circling. I kind of rock and follow, go back the other way. Right, rock and follow. Okay, now go back over there. Yeah, now he backs up a lot. I sit up. Here I can use this foot or this foot. A lot of times I use this bottom one, scoot away, and I even add in this extra little both hand on the floor hop to get really far away. Right now it looks ridiculous now because I'm like, 5 feet away, but the reality is when he really chases, it makes a lot of sense, right? So if I'm here and like he backs up almost into the wall like this, and I go here and I start chasing, like it'll look like that, where he really chases me and I get that extra distance, right? Again, that's something you gotta like, sometimes I add 2 of those in if the guy's really aggressive, right? Just to kind of get that separation so I can go, okay, I get my thoughts about me and now I can start proper grip fighting again. But if you freeze when you sit up, he's gonna close that distance, and like I talked about before, if you allow the guy to make fast changes on you while you're sitting up, you end up way out of position. All right, so let's look at establishing the lasso when we're on our back. So go up. So one common thing mistake that people will make is if I'm on my back and the guy grabs this pant leg, is people will often grab this sleeve here and try to play with one spider hook. This is really dangerous. If I get one spider hook, you can always throw it, okay? So what I wanna do is if I'm on my back and he grabs this one pant leg, I can grab this sleeve, but I really quickly wanna take this foot off the bicep and break really fast past the body. Once I break past the body, he has no grip, he can't throw or anything. Now I can lasso, okay? And that's a very important thing because a lot of people just make this mistake. The guy's got a grip here, they grab this, they think they could just put the foot in the bicep, but if the guy throws here, I may survive it, but I get out of position, right? So what you want is whenever he grabs a grip, right? Yeah, sure, you can do this one time. Yeah. Here, fast break, lasso. Or if it's the far side, I can fast break and just go palm up, leave it past the body or on the hip, and I can kind of play from here. But you want to make sure you get that quick fast break so he can't actually do anything. He can't do anything to you if he doesn't have a grip, right? So again, I'm here, maybe he gets that grip, fast break, lasso. Make sure when you break, it's more than just your leg kicking. You have to pull. The grip break is actually mostly in your arm. A lot of people think it's all leg because the legs are stronger, right? But it's mostly the arm. If I pull really hard and I do a slight kick, it's gonna break. But if you don't pull at all and you kick all the way, it's not gonna break, right? So it's gotta be that there, right? So we'll go slow motion on it. I go here, I keep that tension pulling, and then I kick my leg just a little bit, and then I lasso, and now I have my initial entanglement, okay? Right, so I'm here like this. He goes here, fast break, lasso. He goes here, far side, break, lasso, or I can leave it past the body, start going foot on hip, playing collar sleeve from here, center up, and start attacking from there.
Okay, so now let's look at an easy entanglement, which is just going directly to spider.
Okay, so going directly to spider often happens because the guy holds both pant legs. So especially newer guys will do this where they just, like most guys who are grip fighting are very careful with their hands, so they're only gonna go with one hand first. But some people will just grab both legs and jam them, like just, yeah, like this, right? When someone does this, just put both feet in the biceps and grab both sleeves at the same time. It's very common, like way more than it should be. But people will do this all the time. Now they just gave you spider guard. Now from here, I could kick directly in between, go foot under the butt, and I can start working these underneath sweeps, overhead, backwards. I can switch up the X guard, all of these attacks start to open again, right? So again, I could just be here, he tries to pass a little bit, whatever, I defend, come back, he ends up holding too long, grab both sleeves immediately. You got both feet in the biceps, I could immediately kick in between. I could also break past the body, lasso if I wanted. I could use this to go back to collar sleeve. I could use this to get a De La Riva hook, grab the ankle, push the hip out. Everything starts to open, right? So again, just seeing how once you guys, that's why I did the reverse engineering model for this, right? All that stuff can make sense to you now if you've been through the other series because you understand, oh, if you have a lasso, you can do this. If you have double sleeve, you can do this. So you have that kind of framework for understanding how a control could work. So now all I got to do is just show you, okay, you're here, you block, you get this grip, then you're good and you know what to do, okay? Here, like this, right? Maybe he tries to like pass one time somehow. I block, he ends up holding the grips too long. Grab both sleeves, control, break in between. Now I'm starting to attack immediately. Cool.
All right, so let's look at setting up the lasso from a knee cut.
Okay, so this time we're gonna be on our back. So we're here playing guard, and now sometimes what guys will do is they really quickly will grab this ankle and trap it in between their leg, and they grab your lapel to go for a knee cut pass. So the main thing I wanna focus on, and again, this ties into retention a bit, is that as he comes in, I wanna make sure my knee stays above my arm. I don't want this to drop out, okay? It can happen, and I'll show you guys what to do if that does happen, but we wanna try to stay like this early. So as he comes in for the knee cut, I'm gonna keep this arm under my leg. I'm gonna frame his far bicep. My left hand is gonna frame the near side shoulder, okay? I don't wanna grab the sleeve first because if his shoulder comes forward, it's hard to lasso here. So what I wanna do is frame here. I throw my heel first over to the shoulder. Once I do this, I'm just gonna slide my hand down to the sleeve and then make this sleeve grip. From here, it's easy to push. That allows me to free this leg back out, and now we're back into a double sleeve, leg past body, collar sleeve. I could grab this ankle if it's close, switch up the ankle sleeve on the far side. All these things start to connect again, right? So again, we're here on the back, you know, I'm moving like this. He gets this ankle quick and steps in on that cut. If I can throw this early, that's fine. If I feel like he came in a lot, I frame the shoulder. Again, arm stays under the leg. Throw my heel over first. Don't try to go in with your toes first. Heel first. It's easier to throw your leg in because your knee can open. I throw the heel over, catch the sleeve, push with the foot, and now my right foot comes back out. So we're here, he grabs the lapel, frame, right arm's under my leg, left arm frames the shoulder or bicep, heel over first, slide down and get the sleeve. Now I can push, free that right leg out. If he holds this, right there, I got lasso spider. I could immediately go here, start working underneath, start building from there. I could go leg past body, collar sleeve on the other side, switch up, okay? I'm just trying to throw in with each of these videos, like I try to mix in some of the other concepts because like a primary focus for the video, but just so you guys can see how quick those things can interconnect, can really help you connect the dots, okay? All right guys, so now let's look at setting up your grip from the knee shield. So go up. So what's gonna happen now is the guy's gonna enter for a knee cut pass, and now we kind of make the mistake of letting this drop out, or perhaps you like to play that style. Some guys like to play on their side a lot. It's another good style of basic guard defense, but I'm not gonna cover that in this series. I think this is a way more fundamental one. Both are very useful, it's just different, okay? So now he enters for a knee cut, and we're here. So now this leg dropped to the floor, and I end up with this knee shield. So when I get this knee shield, I'm gonna use my left hand on the cross collar. I'm gonna push away like this. And I want to kind of stretch out my upper body like this to create distance here. And now I'm going to use this to get a hold of this sleeve. Once I get a hold of this sleeve, if he's holding the pants here like this, a lot of times with this knee shield, I'm pretty safe to just break this because I can push back with that knee hard, and now I can bring this leg out here like this. And now again, this goes back to that same position where I have the leg past the body with this sleeve controlled, and now it's hard for him to push this down. So he cannot pass this way. So now I've established a good initial control. I can push with the knee a lot, foot in the bicep, and now we're back into this collar sleeve with the foot on the hip position again on the right side, right? That's why in the collar sleeve series, I had that big discussion about, near side collar sleeve, far side collar sleeve, left side, right side, because once you see how all these positions interconnect, it becomes really easy to string them together. So I'm here, I have the foot on the hip, now I could center up, go for the triangle immediately. If he pulls his elbow tight, now I'm on the near side collar sleeve on the right side, De La Riva hook, all this stuff. If he grabs this leg, I could go to double sleeve here. I could switch to the ankle, push the hip out, and we're learning to start connecting everything together. So we're like this, he comes in on that cut. We knee shield here like this. I'm doing on the opposite side I did last time. So I knee shield here like this. I get this sleeve. I break this if I have to, right? And now I use that top knee to push away hard, clear this bottom leg out. From here I can push a little more, foot in the bicep, now my foot's on the hip, and now I'm playing from here, okay? We'll do it again. We'll do it this side though this time. So he comes in here, I block with the shield, I get the collar. Sometimes I have to turn my palm down, go that way just a little bit. Sometimes I have to turn my palm down to get a better push. I get this sleeve grip, I rip this off. Sometimes even if I can't rip this off, I can still clear my leg out and lasso over his grip, right? Here, go ahead and grab the material here. So he's got the material, we're in this shield position. So sometimes like instead of breaking it here like this and then going leg past body, if he's got that pants there, sometimes just lassoing over his grip can be very disruptive as well. And then it works pretty much the same. I go foot and bicep, I would center up. Now I would probably break this grip and then I can start going back to collar sleeve. We're like this, he comes in, he gets the shield, I block, break the grip, bring the foot out, push with the shield, foot in the bicep, center up, and now I'm starting to attack from there.